Well, it's a hazy, warm and sultry September day, and I'm gonna photograph a steam train. I think it's, oh god, can't walk and talk and vlog at the same time. I think it's the skill you got to learn being a YouTuber. Sorry, I think it's the British India line, and it's coming up to settle the Carlisle line. So I'm going to set up with various cameras and wait for it. So I've got the vlogging cameras to set up, my stills camera, one shooting video, and maybe I'll, if it's possible, I'll get the drone up in the air for some aerial footage, but a wide view. I'm not following it, so I'll just have to hover there. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Best laid planned of mice and men and YouTubers. So anyhow, that's where I'm going, in that field. Make sure it's safe. Oh, looks like there's a farmer working in the other field. I was given permission to go here sometime, but he may have forgotten. So, but I'll just keep quiet, stay low, and hopefully he won't be bothered. Because we had a rather interesting discussion about why the fence posts around here only last for a couple of years. It's because you can't use preservatives on them nowadays. Well, not only certain ones. You can't use creosote or anything like that, and the sandy soil, they tend to rot through, whereas the power line companies and the telephone companies can still creosote their poles. Strange, isn't it? Well, I suppose that's there's pros and cons for environmental regulations. Well, this is my go-to lens for steam train photography. Is the Canon 100 to 400 zoom. The reason I like using this is I like the form of compression you get at a longer distance, but it also has a few problems. Even at this distance, it's not shooting at infinity, so I have to photograph at the point on the track where I know the train is going to be and focus on that point, and then hopefully the engine will be in focus. But sometimes the back of the carriages are not in focus. Well, there's just a long distance between the carriages, you see. But I've tried panning with it, but because the Canon 5D Mark II focusing points are very clustered towards the middle third, I can't have it on autofocus to focus on the front of the engine as it pans through, because what you want is the front of the engine like 2/3 into the screen, or even 3/4 into the screen. And also I have a tendency of sighting or centering it up, putting the steam engine in the center like a lot of amateurs do, and then it means the shot looks unbalanced, because you need the train running through the shot rather than sort of like entering half and then vast acres of bare track and landscape in front of it. So I want to set all my cameras now and just wait for this train, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll come. It was running 10 minutes later Hellifield, but then I think the change from a diesel to put the steam on, and so that can sometimes not go well and they can end up being late. Or it is a Sunday, it can be up to half an hour early sometimes because the traffic's so light on this line. So right, I'll set up and I'll blab to you later. Right, what I've done here is I've put the tree on the behind the tracks in the left hand side, so that's just in the edge of the frame, and I've focused on the track. There's a yellow marker there. I'll focus on that, and my settings are f11. That gives me a reasonable depth of field at 100 ISO, which is a reasonable amount of noise or grain, whatever you're going to call it, and at 1,000th of a second, because I could get away with about 800 here, but I usually find 1,000's usually better. And sometimes what I call it, if the train goes over a track or a joint in a track, it sometimes bounces up a little bit if it's a bit of a misalignment. And I've had photographs where the train's actually been blurred because it's actually gone up a bit. So I'll just see how it goes on this. It's very hazy today, so it's reasonable. And there's a farmer. I hope he hasn't seen me. And so I'll just wait and see what happens, and just wait and see what the train comes. Right, I've set up my Sony NEX 3, I think it is, with the 55 to 210 lens on. Was it 200? No, it's 210. And I'm just going to use this for shooting a closer view video work as the train goes by. So it's basically a slightly wider shot than the stills, so I'm shooting the tree and in the left hand side, and just having the train sort of move across the frame. I'll just set it off going before the train arrives, and then hopefully I'll get some nice footage. It's only HD, so it's not all that good. I'll just get comfy down my back, lean against this fence. It's important to be comfortable. Let's tilt that down. Oh, that's nice and reclined. I'll just wait for this train to arrive. I was gonna put the drone up, but I feel a bit self-conscious doing that with the farmer working down there. Might be a bit much, you see, that's having it whining, and also it might be hanging above on the boundary where the field where he's working, you see. So I thought I'll just won't bother at this moment. Anyhow, I don't think I'll get any decent footage. The light's a bit hazy, so you don't get those nice rich colours. Everything looks a bit washed out, and because this one you can't shoot the drone footage in RAW, you can't sort of tweak it too much without losing a bit of quality, you see. Yeah, so just wait and see what happens, and just enjoy being out in the countryside. Well, that was a bit of a rehearsal there. It's always good to rehearse on the normal service train that comes through. Here it comes. Oh, it's a yellow train. What's it on? I believe it's the banana train, or what they call the line management measuring train. Oh well, it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I'll wait and try again. Here it comes, I think. Here it comes. I'm just waiting for it to come and hit that marker. Fire! That's it, I think. Well, my work is done here, and the sheep don't like it. Yeah. Right, here we have the same two camera setup again. Here's it. That one's doing the stills. That one's doing the HD video clip, which you'll be seeing of the train passing by. That's about it. I've altered the exposure, still at 1000 ISO, but I'm at f8 at 1/6400th of a second, because it's September and the light levels, it's nearly like 2 hours of sunset, so the light levels have dropped dramatically, usually around about 4 to 3 hours before sunset. And it's also very hazy as well, so the sun is sort of like percolating through a lot more atmosphere than it was before. I'll just have to take the picture and see what happened. Just a question of waiting. The train will sort of like, you can see it at Armathwaite station there, and it will travel along here. And what I'll do is I'll take some pictures up to a certain point, and then I've got this camera set up so I can pan and follow it along this line here. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. Here it comes. I've had to modify the exposure because the sun's gone in and it's coming out now again, so I don't know what's happening. I have to do everything on the fly. Well, that's it. Now here's the pictures now. Thanks for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel.